The third instrument which we will be discussing under Negotiable Instrument Act is check. A check is defined as a bill of exchange drawn on a specified banker and not expressed to be payable otherwise than on demand. Only on demand a check is to be paid. The features of a bill of exchange which you can see on a check is it is always drawn on a bank. It is always payable on demand, whereas a bill of exchange is something which you have to pay by order. Difference between a check and bill of exchange: in case of a check can only be drawn payable on demand, whereas the other is on the expiry of a certain bill of exchange. On certain expiry of that maturity date, automatically the payment has to be made, whereas in case of a check only it is payable only on demand. It does not require a check, does not require any acceptance, whereas bill of exchange has to be accepted before the drawee makes the payment. A check does not require any stamp, whereas a bill of exchange has to be properly stamped under the Stamps Act of India. Check can be crossed, but a bill of exchange cannot be crossed. Crossing of checks. The checks may be open or crossed. Open check is one that is payable across the counter of a bank. Crossing helps to prevent, as we have already said, it is a bearer instrument. Once the check has been crossed, it prevents, once the check is lost or anything of such cases, the check you can prevent. If you have crossed the check, you can prevent it from getting into the hands of a wrong person. Crossing of a check is a unique feature which is associated with a check that affects a certain obligation on the paying banker. A cross check cannot be paid over the counter. Crossing of a check is effectively by drawing two parallel lines, which is transfer line with or without words. Sometimes you can write account payee or anything in between the lines, but you can even simply draw two parallel lines. If a check bears across its face an additional two words and company or any abbreviation between the parallel lines or transverse line, it is deemed to be crossed. It cannot be claimed across the counter, as in case of, whereas in an open check you can claim across the counter, but a cross check you cannot claim across the counter, thus preventing it from enhancing or getting into the hands of any other wrong person. The types of crossing, what you see is basically general and special crossing. In special crossing, the name of the banker is specified on the face of the check. It directs the drawee bank to pay the check on it being presented through a particular, sometimes it will be very specifically mentioned to be paid to the particular account, or it has to be gone through a particular banker's account. That is what you call it as a special one, whereas in a general one, simply two transfers line will be occur. Sometimes you can see checks being presented as account payee also. It is a type of crossing which the drawer intends the payment to be credited only to the payee's account. That's all for today. Thank you.